In this video, I will teach you how to create thumbnails like n8wealth by recreating one of his thumbnails. I will use Photopea. It's almost identical to Photoshop, so you should be able to follow along no matter your software. Create a new HD project. Search for YouTube Shorts logo and copy the image. Paste it in with Ctrl+V. Click Alt+T to resize it. Make it smaller and move it a bit down. Create a new layer and choose the Polygon Lasso Select tool. Select this part of the triangle and click the bucket tool. Click X to switch between black and white, and fill this triangle with black. Lower the opacity. Add an exposure layer and decrease the exposure. Alt-click it to enable clipping mask, select the mask layer and click Ctrl+I to invert it. Click the brush tool and pick white color by clicking X. To resize the brush, hold Alt-right-click and drag with the mouse. Paint the shadows. Add color fill and select a slightly dark red. Alt-click it to enable clipping mask and set blend mode to color. Add white color fill and paint in the highlights. Set the brush hardness to 0. You may have to give it a couple of tries before you get it perfect. Click X to switch to black. Erase the highlight where there is too much of it. Select the background and pick a black color with the number 15 on RGB. Bucket fill the background. Alt-drag the YouTube logo layer to duplicate it. Alt-drag the highlight mask onto the new logo layer. Set blend mode to luminosity. Create a new layer and pick a light red color. Select the brush tool and increase the size. Draw the glow. Set blend mode to linear dodge and reduce the opacity. Go to the original logo layer and add inner glow. Set color to black and blend mode to normal. Increase the size and decrease the opacity. That makes it look 3D, which is a common effect in n8wealth's thumbnails. Now let's add the reflection. Select the bottom logo layer, go to Edit, Transform and flip it vertically. Enable Transform and drag it down. Add a mask and erase the bottom part. Add an exposure layer and decrease the exposure. Invert the mask and paint in the shadow below the logo. Duplicate the layer and paint a bottom vignette. Adjust the exposures. Click the bottom exposure layer and shift-click the top layer to select all in between. Then click Ctrl+G to group them. You can rename the folder if you want. We are done with the logo, and now I will show you how to make the graph. Add a new layer and select the Path tool. Choose the shape mode. Set fill to transparent, stroke to green, and thickness to around 5 pixels. Click and drag to draw the graph. To modify the curve, hold down Ctrl and drag the point. You can also drag the handles. To delete a point, just click it, and to add one, just click somewhere on the curve. Duplicate the layer. Right-click it and click Rasterize. Go to Filter and add Gaussian Blur. Add a green color fill and invert the mask. Click the magic wand and click on the graph. Then shift-click below the graph and click Ctrl+I. Select the brush tool and erase the bottom of the graph fill. Reduce the opacity. You can group the graph for a faster workflow. Add a new layer and select the Shape tool. Select the rectangle shape with corner radius 30 pixels. Give it a green fill and remove the stroke. Click this button, go to the Layer tab, and change the color to cold green. Add a gradient fill and set the angle to 90 degrees. Reduce the scale and increase the Y position. Alt-click the layer and set blend mode to luminosity. Adjust the settings until you like the result. Add a text layer with Montserrat extra bold font. Set it to white color and type in the text. Resize it and add drop shadow. Adjust the angle, increase the size, and reduce the distance. Search for grunge texture and copy an image you like. Paste it in and resize to fit the screen. Set blend mode to luminosity and reduce the opacity. I wanted to increase the glow and adjust the fill color. One final thing we need to add is a curves layer. Add it on top of all the other layers and just add a point here. See the difference? It makes it pop more. Now I will show you how you can change the color of any part of the thumbnail with almost no work. Add a color fill, enable clipping mask, and set the blend mode to color. Now just bring it on top of the part you want to recolor and choose the color you want. How cool is that? Tell me if you would like to see how I made these thumbnails. Also, let me know what you would like to see in the next video. Subscribe and check out these videos.